Thank you so much, Raju. And on behalf of the smallholder farmers that I represent, I want to thank IFPRI for involving smallholder farmers to interact in these spaces. We all know that smallholder farmers are producing more than 50% of the food that the growing world population needs. But smallholder farmers are also amongst the most vulnerable communities and at very high risk of experiencing shocks which continually diminish their capacity to produce or acquire food. Some of the shocks that smallholder farmers are exposed to are political shocks, environmental shocks, climate change, economic shocks, and market shocks. And some of their coping strategies and approaches include adaptation, transformation, institution building and strengthening, safety net programs, and building up of productive assets. But what are the gaps that we have noted? We think that as smallholder farmers, there are glaring knowledge gaps which require urgent action to address and ensure that communities are well informed and can access the menu of options that are available for them to adapt or transform their livelihoods for the better. There is urgent need to investigate through well-planned and robust research, one, why certain communities are more resilient than others. Two, what kind of interventions are required to move communities towards resilience. And three, how economic growth policies and strategies can be implemented to get people out of the poverty traps. There is need to reform our food systems towards supporting small-scale farmers, agroecology, seed diversity, and local markets. Consumers are always protected against price spikes. They can go on the streets and demonstrate. Civil society comes to their aid, and even governments come to their aid. Yet smallholder farmers are left to take low prices without anybody advocating for them. And yet the demand is for them to produce food of better quality and also food that is safer. There is need to reject the introduction of more restrictive intellectual property standards, patents on seeds and living organisms. There is need to nationalize the African model law on farmers' rights, which ensures farmers continued access to and control over their genetic diversity. There is need to promote participatory plant breeding in collaboration with farmers to further enhance seed diversity and meet their different needs. There is need to support networks of farmers and seed savers and process for them to share seed knowledge and experiences. And there is need to support seed community banks that ensure local seed supply. And finally, there is need to celebrate and support community seed diversity and seed saving with seed festivals and fairs. To conclude, Madam Chair, in building resilience for food and nutrition security, smallholder farmers call upon governments, NGOs, private sector, civil society, and the international community to involve them in planning, implementation, measurement, and monitoring of projects and programs. And we appeal to all the stakeholders to stop these short-term projects of 1 to 5 years and consider more medium to long-term programs that will enable smallholder farmers to mobilize themselves to address the shocks that are preventing them from producing enough food to feed themselves and the growing world population. Madam Chair, thank you.
Thank you very much.